Fall is in the air with these Hello Pumpkin cards. In this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to create these window pop-up cards using our Hello Pumpkin paper collection. I'm Charee Filimoehala here at the Graphic 45 headquarters, and today we are going to have so much fun creating these dimensional card set. So we're going to take these square card bases and turn them into these dimensional delights. So you can see the recipient, when they open it, is going to be delighted with this dimension. They also sit up great on a mantle. And we're going to teach you some great ways to maximize those ephemera assortments and those papers. And we've even added some nice metal clocks, giving them that nice antique polished look. So in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to create these three I just went over, and then with your leftover goodies, I'll walk you through how to create the other three and what you're going to need. All 6 of these cards have been created for us this month by Carla Lavera, and you can see we're going to learn a lot of great techniques that we can reuse over and over again in our card making, as well as our scrapbook mini albums and other paper crafting projects. Now, you're going to want to pick up our Volume 9 card kit. The Volume 9 card kit is going to include, for the first come first serve, these Fall is in the Air buttons. So cute. The Hello Pumpkin Ephemera Assortment pieces. You're going to get 32 double-sided pieces in there. The decorative metal clocks. The Hello Pumpkin 8x8 collection pack. You get 24 double-sided sheets in here. You're going to get 3 of each of these papers, so you're going to have a lot to work with and a lot of leftovers for other projects as well. Graphic 45 square cards with envelopes. You get 6 of each of those. And then of course the bag and project sheet. You can pick up this card kit on our website at g45papers.com and down at your local Graphic 45 retailer. Of course, you can always play along with the supplies you've got at home to learn all of these great techniques. So grab your supplies and let's start creating some paper crafting magic. The first thing I like to do when starting any of our projects that have the project sheet is locate that. You can get it in your kit, or you can go to our website, g45papers.com, go up to inspiration and down to project sheets, and there you'll see all the supplies you're going to need. So my kit, of course, came with all the Graphic 45 supplies I'm going to need, and then it just shows you the other tools and things that you're going to need as well. So I like to pull all of those items out, which are, you'll see here. And then I have my little handy dandy Kraft cup where I keep all of my favorite essentials in here. So we're going to create all of our card bases. So taking the square Kraft cards from your Graphic 45 card kit or from our website. Of course, you could use this with some nice heavy duty. This is 100-pound cardstock. These are cut to 10.5 by 5.25. So we are going to score this down the center at 5.25. So this is going to give us these nice square card bases. You'll do the same for all 6 of your card bases. So taking those square card bases, we're going to cut out a square from the top of that card base, like so. So you can do it 2 different ways. You can do it with a paper trimmer, or you can do it with an X-Acto knife and a ruler and a craft mat. So depending on how you like to do things, we're just going to trace a square from each edge at 3/4 of an inch from all 3 sides. And then if you're doing the craft mat version, you'll just take your ruler and cut out your inside, making sure to leave your back intact. Or if you want to do it with your paper trimmer, that you can drop the blade where you'd like it. I can show you how to do that in a quick no measure way. So, I mean, I will be measuring with this, but I'm not going to be using a ruler and a craft knife on top of that. So I know that I want to be trimming out my square from the top of my card. So I have that open, and I have this placed at 3/4 of an inch on the right hand side. I'm taking this all the way to the top so I can start this at 3/4 of an inch on my ruler, and then I'm going to take this down to 4.5 inches like so, and then we'll just do some rotating. So rotate that again, put that on 3/4 of an inch, 3/4 of an inch to start with, and down to 4.5. So now this time I'm using my score line as the edge, and I want that to be 1, 2, 3 at 3/4, like so. And starting at 4.5 inches, we'll go up to 3/4 of an inch. And then for my last one, I'm going to go down here. So measuring that at the 3/4 of an inch mark again on the right hand side of my little blade here. And then I'm just going to match up my cut line since this is the last one. So I'm just going to cut from the top to the bottom cut line. And there you have it. We have cut out our square, easy peasy. And then we'll keep this square for later. So cut 4 of them to be this nice square design that I just walked you through. And then we will cut 2 more later to be a little bit different to match the cut aparts we'll be highlighting. Card 1. We're taking Autumn Splendor, and this piece has been cut to 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. So we're going to take that square and just washi tape it into place so we can trace out this. And then of course you can use your ruler and your craft knife, or you can use your paper trimmer like I'm going to be using here. And I'm just going to cut this to be about 1/8 of an inch larger than where my pencil line is. So just matching that up and making it about 1/8 of an inch larger. And then I'm just going to keep rotating this all the way around. There you go. So I've got my cutout and my square piece. And now let's just go ahead and see how this squares up on my card front. So beautiful. Add your favorite adhesive. I'm using art glitter glue, and then we're just going to adhere this onto our card front. Got our Halloween birds outside, welcoming in fall. Step 3, we have our Hello Pumpkin page, and we are going to be using the back side of this. And we're going to score this piece that's been cut to 8 inches by 5 1/8. And we're going to score it at 2.5. 5 1/8. And 7 3/4. Go ahead and crease on all those score lines. And then we're going to take that card base and we're going to match our second score line here, this one here, with the center score line on our card base. And we want that to be placed centered from top and bottom. And then just using some washi tape to keep that in place. So then go ahead and we're going to fold this shut like so. And then we've got our first score line here in the center. And we are just going to trace from that score line here to the right. Now we can take this off. And we're going to cut out on that score line here and then just about 1/8 of an inch larger from our pencil line. So then we'll go ahead and just snip this out. So I'm adding adhesive to our first score section here that we have our little window frame cut out from. And this is just going to go right on the left-hand side, flush with our window. And then I'm going to add adhesive onto this little 1/4 inch flap here that we have. And then go ahead and fold this shut. So now we have our fun little interactive dimensional piece. We're going to put this aside for now, and then we're going to take that Kraft square we saved the leftovers from earlier, and we're going to cut this down to be 3 5/8 of an inch by 3 5/8 of an inch. And then we've taken Beautiful Bounty, and this piece is 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. And then adhere this on top. So now this is going to adhere right on our paper section here. So I'm just going to add my adhesive just on my plaid section and leaving about 1/8 of an inch of room, since there is a bit of a gap between my two pieces. Find the center there and adhere this down. From these highly coveted ephemera pieces, we're going to take out these two ephemera and then this decorative metal clock, and we're going to decorate the front. We love these because it makes card making such a simple task. So we've done the hard part, and now we're just going to sit back and just relax and decorate. So I want this to be going over my borders just a little bit. So I'm just kind of placing things how I want them to look. So I want to make sure that I'm staying inside my card and that everything's going to open up still. So I'm going to leave my wheelbarrow in sort of in place. And then I know I just want to add adhesive to my Peace, Love, Fall on the bottom. I'm going to put this piece back in place and then slide my little tag right where I want it to go. And so this little wheel is going to go off the edge. Adhere this down, making sure everything's going to move and close beautifully. So cute and so clever. So now we're just going to add this little metal piece, giving it some extra texture and dimension. Adorable. Now we're going to decorate the inside of the card. We've taken Autumn Splendor that's been cut to 2 1/2 by 5 1/8, and this is just going to go right inside of our right section of our card. So I'm putting it over our little 1/4 of an inch plaid piece here and making sure that everything's still going to lay flat. From our Fall is in the Air paper, we're going to cut out this Happy Fall cut apart, and then we've just trimmed this right side off, so it ends up being 2 1/2 inches, and then that's going to adhere right in the center here, so we've got a great space for our sentiment. Then we're taking our Hello Pumpkin B-side, and we've cut it to be 2 1/2 by 5 1/8 and added adhesive to the back side, and then this is just going to adhere on the inside left of our card. So we just want this to fit in there nicely, so when this is open, everything looks beautiful and finished. And then using your leftover Autumn Splendor, just decorate the little flap of your envelope, and you have completed card 1. Card 2. we're using that fun square design. So we're gonna grab one of our pre-cut card bases. We're gonna take Hello Pumpkin, and we're gonna cut this piece to be 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. And then just go ahead and take your washi tape and tape it into place. Open that up and trace out your square. And then we're going to trim out our square just like we did before. About 1/8 of an inch larger than our pencil markings. Adhere your frame on your card front. Step 3, we've got Autumn Splendor. We're going to be using the B side here, and we've cut this to be 8 inches by 5 1/8. And again, we're going to score this at 2.5, 5 1/8, and 7 3/4. Fold and crease. Match that second score line with the center score line on your card base on the inside. Just adding my washi to hold it in place, and then now fold this down, and we're going to trace just like we did with the card one. So this is our center score line here. It's our first score line, and we are just going to trace on the right hand side of the card, so just to that score line, and then we'll cut out our rectangle. Go ahead and add adhesive to your little window frame piece, and this is going to go on the inside flush with your window. Crease back that 1/4 inch section and add some adhesive here. Adhere this down nice and flat, and then go ahead and close this shut, where we'll burnish this, getting a nice flat fold. So this is what it should look like at this point. Super cute. We're going to take these 2 squares. This one's left from our card base that we cut, and this one's left from our step 1 Hello Pumpkin that we cut. We're going to cut down our square Kraft piece to be 3 5/8 by 3 5/8, and then we're going to take the plaid side of our Hello Pumpkin, and we want this to be 3 1/2 by 3 1/2. And if you have any visible pencil line, you might want to trim that off the best you can. And then go ahead and adhere these 2 pieces together. Add adhesive on your orange polka dot on the inside of your window from the front, leaving 1/8 of an inch all the way around, and then this is just going to square up nice in the center. Now let's embellish this bad boy. So we have 3 leaves, 2 pumpkins, autumn days are the best days, and a little clock. And I'm just going to kind of play around with my placement, trimming off this little notch here, since we won't be using this as a tag. And all right, so let's start adhering our leaves down, and this one is just going to go in the back. So I'm just holding my other pieces down while I'm getting my leaves in order. This one I want off a little bit of my card, so I'm not putting adhesive all the way to the top edge. And the same with this one, so I'll just hold the tip that I want off the edge and then slide this underneath, leaving it unadhered on the left-hand side. On the back, I'm going to add my autumn days, just overlapping a little bit over onto my frame. Last but not least, add my little metal flare. Now we're going to work on the inside. We've cut this piece of Hello Pumpkin to be 2 1/2 inches by 5 1/8, and this is just going to go on the right side just over top of our 1/4 inch polka dot, making sure everything's still going to open and close beautifully. From Fall is in the Air, we're going to cut out these 2 pieces and then trim this to be 2.5 inches wide, and that will adhere right in the center of our Hello Pumpkin. Using a leftover piece from Autumn Splendor, we've cut this to be 2.5 inches by 5 1/8, and then this is just going to go right on the inside left of our card. Our last step is to take a leftover piece from Hello Pumpkin and cut it to be 5.5 by 1 3/4 and adhere that to your little envelope flap. Finished your card number 2. Autumn days are the best days. Card 3. We are shaking things up, so instead of having a nice square cutout in the center, we're going to do a rectangle cutout towards the top. So we've got our plain card base that we've yet to add our window in, and we're going to take from our cut apart sheet, Fall is in the Air. We're going to take that sentiment here and cut it out, cutting out that orange border. And then we're going to take our card base. Note, this is very important. You want it to be opening up like a book horizontally. So our fold is here on the left. And we're going to measure down 3/4 inch and then center this. Add your washi tape, and then we can go ahead and trace this out. Cut out your window to be just a touch larger than what we've traced. And now we're going to take that Color Me Happy paper that's been cut to 5 1/8 by 5 1/8. And we are going to tape this on our front, making sure our pumpkins are right side up in the center. Trace out your window from the inside of the card, and then cut this to be about 1/8 inch larger than what you've traced. Adhere this into place. Step 3, we've got our beautiful bounty that's been cut to 8 inches by 5 1/8, and then we've scored this at 2.5, 5 1/8, and 7 3/4. Now that we have this, our card base open, we're going to match up our second score line with our center score on the inside and then tape this into place. Carefully close that and do our tracing again. So we're going to be tracing our window, just half of it on the right hand side to our score line here. Cut out your traced window and then adhere this onto the left side of your inside card. Fold up that 1/4 inch score line here and add more adhesive onto this section, and this will just adhere straight down. And then fold this up, and we've got another fun interactive card, this time with a rectangle cutout. Now we're going to take these 2 rectangles we cut out earlier, and I've just trimmed off 1/8 inch on one of the short sides and one of the long sides, and we'll adhere these 2 pieces together. And then we're going to add adhesive to our paper on our open window, just leaving about 1/8 inch border all the way around, and we'll center this. Grab these 3 embellishments from your ephemera pack, cut out this Hello Fall stamp from your papers, and then grab our largest clock. Added adhesive to the bottom half of my leaf, and I'm just going to have this on a diagonal in my right hand corner. Add adhesive, just leaving the top unadhered, and this is also going to go on a diagonal in that corner. Next up, our metal clock. And then adhere your little acorns wherever you'd like them to go. And I'm just going to take this last acorn and put it on the corner, bottom left corner of my little rectangle window. We've cut this piece of Color Me Happy to be 2.5 by 5 1/8, and it's just going to go in our empty right hand section here. Then we're going to take this Hello Pumpkin, cut apart, and just trim it down to be 2.5 inches. And we are going to adhere this onto our center panel here in the center. All we've got left to do is cut this piece of beautiful bounty to 2.5 by 5 1/8. Add your adhesive to the back, and that's just going to slide in on the left hand side of the inside of our card base. And then with the scraps left over from Color Me Happy, we are just going to add it onto our little envelope flap here. And there you have it. We are done with our card number 3. Assorted cards. For card number 4, you can see we have used our Harvest Time for our background frame and some stamps from Beautiful Bounty. Inside, we've got more Beautiful Bounty, a postcard from Fall is in the Air, as well as that cut apart here. We've got a clock and a leaf. Card 5, our Hello Pumpkin card, has falling leaves, and we have both the A and B side on there. And then on the inside, we've got Abundant Splendor, more falling leaves, and a cut apart from Fall is in the Air. And then we've just decorated that with some of the ephemera. And card 6, we have Color Me Happy on our frame and on the inside. And then we've got the B side of a Hello Pumpkin here, Color Me Happy, and a journaling card from Fall is in the Air. And we've just decorated that up with some more of those ephemera. Thanks for joining us for this Hello Pumpkin card tutorial. We'd love to hear what was your favorite card or your favorite technique. Be sure to share your cards with us on our Instagram using the Graphic45 hashtag. And if you're looking for more great tutorials like this, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and then hit that notification bell so you know every time we upload a new tutorial. Thanks for joining us, and happy paper crafting.